Speaker Pro Tem. So I want to tell a much bigger story, and let me preface it by this so there's no confusion. I actually think this is a good bill. I know that's surprising because of some of the statements I've made, but I do think this is a good bill. But there's a reason why I've been standing against it, and I was waiting in committee. I haven't heard anything. I was waiting yesterday. I really didn't talk very much yesterday, and I'm waiting for what's the truth behind this to come out, and it hasn't. And so I'm going to try to help with this. Here's the narrative so far, right? A bunch of rich people proposed 108 and 50. That puts the governor in pressure. So he has to do something. So he comes to the Dems and the Republicans and say, we need to do something. We can't let 108 and 50 go through. And so then we come up with this bill. And again, I think it's a good bill, but here's my problem here's the actual real story. And I know a few people in this room know this, but I really think that most people in this room do not know what I'm about to say. And so I want to tell a story. There's this group that says we're going to have ballot initiative 108 and 50. Let's call them Group A. Then you have another group that is the governor's office. Let's call them Group G. And this is what it looks like, is there's pressure between these two groups. But what most people don't know is that's not actually the story. Back up a long time ago, before 108 and 50 existed, and this is why this came into being, is there is another group, and let's call this group Group O. And Group A and Group O made an agreement together to do something within our state to make millions and millions of dollars. To do that, they're going to need a couple of people on board with them. One is they have to do two things. They have to put what looks like pressure on the governor's office so that the governor's office has cover, because the governor's office knows this deal's going down, but it's going to look bad. And so the governor says, I need some help here. So how are we going to do this? We're going to bring this property tax issue to the table, so that puts pressure on the governor. He has to do something. But really, the pressure is not property tax. Guys, you may believe this or not, but everything we're doing here today has nothing to do with property tax. 108 and 50 have nothing to do with property tax. Nobody intended 108 and 50 to come to the ballot. Nobody. But you've got this deal between A and O, and they have to make sure that something puts pressure on the governor so that he can come into this without looking bad. And so that's actually what's happened. So here becomes the narrative. We go to the Democrats and say, Group A goes to the Democrats and says, guys, this thing is going to pass. You better stop it. Then Group A goes to the Republicans and says, this thing's probably not going to go through. You need to do a deal with the Democrats to get property tax, okay? And I am not saying that the two people that brought this bill know this is happening. I am not saying that. I actually don't think they do. But the deal is actually A and O are making millions and millions of dollars, but they need this whole scam, this whole fake thing called property tax to go through. The governor is not worried about the Dems and the Republicans, and here's where my partisanship comes in. The Dems are always going to use the world is falling apart, catastrophic failure of every single thing if we don't do that. And the reason the Dems always do that is because the Republicans always buy it. That's the reality. We listen to it and we will cave and we will vote or we will do whatever. But that's not actually the story here. You've got other deals going down in our state that are making millions and millions of dollars, and this is just a little 3-4 day sham to cover up that bigger deal. The governor is also not worried about the media, because the media will never investigate this stuff, ever investigate this stuff. You can think I'm crazy about this, but guys, I know this is happening. I know this is happening, and this is why I'm standing against this. I would really like to see 108 and 50 go to the ballot, but it was never intended to, ever. And so this is the scam. We're all being played. We're being played against each other because everybody that's playing us knows our narratives, knows what we're going to do, and nobody's going to actually look to the root of this, but this is what's going on. And guys, I know there are people in this room that know this because I know who they are. And here's the reality. Believe me or not, but this is why I'm voting against this. Not because it's not a good bill. It actually is. In fact, I think it's better than ballot initiative 108 because I don't like backfills. I know that makes me a horrible guy, but I hate backfills. I don't think education and fire department and all this stuff need to get more money after they get raises every single year. More. So that's why I'm against the bigger picture. But the reason I'm against this bill is because the entire thing is a lie, and we're all being played. Investigate it yourself and see if I'm telling the truth, because I just told you the actual story.